Welcome back to another episode of Dumb Video Ideas I Had at 3 a.m. Today we're talking about cars. Sonic is known for being able to run fast, although occasionally he likes to get lazy and drive cars. But this got me wondering, is this even legal? Unlike the Mario Kart series where they drive go-karts, the cars in the Sonic Racing games appear to be normal cars that you need a license to drive. So if Sonic doesn't have a driver's license, wouldn't all of this technically be illegal? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're over there on your keyboard about to type, "This is a fictional universe with talking animals. Obviously they don't need driver's licenses." Wrong! In 2021, there was a one-issue IDW comic called the Sonic 30th Anniversary Special. One of the stories in that comic is called Sonic Learns to Drive, where Sonic tries to get his driving license so that he can enter a car race where the grand prize is a lifetime supply of chili dogs. Now, technically, the comic never outright uses the phrase driver's license. Sonic is just taking a driving class to learn how to drive. So we don't have confirmation that driver's licenses exist in the Sonic universe. Except we actually do. In Sonic 06, there's several missions you can do in the town of Soliana, and the 7th Shadow mission is called Motorcycle License Test. Shadow meets a guy named Solomon, who is from the Soliana Transportation Ministry, and he conducts motorcycle license tests. In this mission, you go through various small challenges while on a motorcycle, so Shadow can get his license. Now, technically, this is only a driver's license for the city of Soliana, and also it's only for motorcycles, so we have no idea how driver's licenses for cars work in other nations in the Sonic universe. But I doubt that Sonic would go through the hassle of trying to pass a driving class unless it was required to get some sort of license, because otherwise he'd just grab the first car he could get his hands on and go to the chili dog race. In the real world, every country has different rules and regulations regarding what you need to be able to drive. Before being able to take your practical exam, you often have to go to driving school, take a written test, and/or get a certain amount of driving hours on the road. Although probably the most straightforward restriction is that you need to be a certain age. We can deduce that since Sonic is allowed to take his driver's license exam, that means he must be old enough to be eligible. Though I guess that does propose a question: how old is Sonic? This is a question that has been asked all throughout Sonic's history, and if we look back, we have several different answers. In Sonic Jam, released in 1997 on the Sega Saturn, Sonic's age was listed as 16 years old, except this is for the English version of the game. In the Japanese version, his age was listed as around 15 to 16 years old. Later on in the manual for the 2003 game Sonic Heroes, Sonic's age was listed as 15. This was corroborated on the official Japanese Sonic website called the Sonic Channel, where Sonic's age was also listed as 15. However, if you look at the Sonic Channel nowadays, you'll notice that while it has quite a bit of information about Sonic, like his height and weight, his age is conspicuously missing. In a 2022 interview with Game Informer, Sonic series producer Takashi Iizuka stated that Sonic was a teenager.
How old is Sonic in the games?
He's teenager.
Teenager is pretty vague. It could mean 13 and it could mean 19. They're deliberately keeping his age ambiguous nowadays, but we at least know that he is a teenager, meaning in the Sonic universe, teenagers can legally drive. Now, we don't know what other requirements are needed to get a driver's license in the Sonic universe, but in many IRL countries, one of the most common requirements is that you have a residence in the place where you're getting a license from. In other words, you have to have a home. So this begs the question, where does Sonic live? Sonic has fairly consistently been portrayed as a drifter in a lot of the games. If he's not fighting Eggman, then he's usually just kind of wandering around. However, in a few games, we do actually get some insight into Sonic's house. While we don't actually get to see it, one of the earliest mentions of Sonic's house comes from everyone's favorite Sonic game, the 1995 Game Gear hit classic, Sonic Labyrinth. In the English manuals for the game, it says that Eggman ordered one of his robots to sneak into Sonic's home and replace his shoes with slowdown boots, making Sonic really slow. An earlier reference to Sonic's home actually comes from the English manual for the 8-bit version of Sonic 2 in 1992. The manual says that Sonic left South Island in search of adventure, and when he returned to South Island, he went back to his digs to think. For those of you who aren't hip and cool like me, digs is a slang word for your house. like your crib, your pad, your place, the location that you call home. So the 8-bit Sonic 2 manual does confirm that Sonic has a home on South Island where Sonic 1 takes place. Although, like Sonic Labyrinth, we don't actually get to see Sonic's house. One instance where we actually do get to see Sonic's living situation is in Sonic Shuffle, where Sonic's house is this depressing looking empty room. Thankfully, you can unlock different furniture items in the game to liven the place up a bit. I guess technically Sonic never says that he lives in the place, but it's literally called Sonic Room. So I feel like it's a reasonable assumption that he lives here. In the beginning of Sonic and the Secret Rings, we do see Sonic crashing on a couch in some sort of room with a fireplace. Whether this is his home or he's just squatting is a mystery. There's also Emerald Town in Sonic Battle. The game straight up says this is the town where Sonic and his friends live. We don't actually get to see where Sonic's house is, but it is confirmed that he lives in this town. Just like with Sonic's age, nowadays they're trying to keep Sonic's living situation mysterious and open-ended, with Amy saying she doesn't think Sonic has a home in an episode of Tails Tube.
I don't think Sonic has a home. I think he just travels the world non-stop and camps out whenever he needs to take a break.
Amy never says for certain that Sonic doesn't have a home, just that she doesn't think that he has a home. So it is possible that Sonic lives in Emerald Town. Of course, there is always the possibility that Sonic just moves around a lot, or maybe he's been stockpiling all of those rings and he's got different properties all over the world where he can live. Maybe he's got a house in Emerald Town, a cabin in Green Hill, and a condo in Station Square or something. Another thing that many countries require you to have in order to get a driver's license is proof of identification. This is something along the lines of a passport, an ID card, or a birth certificate. Probably the biggest mystery surrounding Sonic the Hedgehog, even bigger than his age, his living situation, and how he got his speed, is how was Sonic born? Where does he come from? And most importantly, who are his parents? We know the concept of parenthood exists in the series, because Knuckles is a descendant of the Echidna tribe featured in Sonic Adventure, and Cream from Sonic Advance 2 has a mother named Vanilla. But as for Sonic, we really don't know. He could just have regular old talking hedgehog parents, or who knows, maybe Sonic is some sort of science experiment like Shadow. In terms of an ID card or passport, I don't think Sonic has them, at least not in the games, but funnily enough, in the Sonic X anime, Sonic and his friends do get passports and social security numbers. So going by realistic standards, it's probably illegal for Sonic to be driving. But of course, we don't know the full list of requirements for a driver's license in Sonic's world, so there's not much we can do there. We can assume that Sonic did get his license at some point because we do see him driving cars in games like Sonic Drift, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, and Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. We know that characters like Tails drives cars too, and going by Tails' Sonic Jam profile, he's 8 years old, so it seems like in the Sonic universe, even children can get driver's licenses. Tails is a super genius, so I don't know, maybe he gets special treatment or something. But we also have Cream, who is confirmed to be a racer in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and going by her Sonic Heroes profile, she's only 6 years old. I have no idea what her excuse is. Okay, I guess technically the racer is listed as Cream and Cheese, so maybe everything's all good because Cream has a chaperone. I have no idea what Cheese's age is, and neither does the Sonic channel's old profile, as his age was listed as unknown. In Team Sonic Racing, there's a racer that's just a bunch of Chow, so we can assume that Chow can get driver's licenses. Keep in mind, these ages come from old Sonic channel profiles and other old games, so they might not be accurate anymore. Actually, speaking of driving regulations, what are the laws regarding self-driving cars in the Sonic universe? Omega is an AI robot created by Dr. Eggman, and Omega drives a car in Team Sonic Racing and in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. This must mean that robots driving cars is legal in the Sonic universe. Alright, I can go on all day if I keep asking questions about the nuances of automobile regulations in a universe where blue hedgehogs talk. But hey, if you're interested in watching more videos where I talk about stuff, here's another video you might enjoy, and here's a whole playlist of Sonic videos for you to check out if you're looking for something to marathon or to just have something to listen to as background noise. That's all I've got to talk about for today though, so thanks for watching y'all, and have a great rest of your day.